Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be playing a visual novel called White Album 2. This is the Introductory Chapter. Now, White Album 2 is a visual novel that came out just over 10 years ago in Japan. Now, a few years back, I had played through this in the original Japanese. This is my first time playing through it in the English fan dub, so I'm excited to see what they've done with it. Let's go ahead and jump right in. See if we can't get a girlfriend. Why did it turn out like this? Intense already. I fell in love for the very first time and made an irreplaceable friend. These two wonderful things joined together. The joy from these two was supposed to bring forth even more joy. Like something out of a beautiful dream. But then, why did it turn out like this? Uh-oh. We got conflict before we've even started. At last, it started falling. Sounds like a jet engine falling out of the sky. The sky that had been on the verge of breaking down ever since I arrived at the airport pulled itself together ever so slightly, its tears frozen over by the chilly wind. The deafening roar of jet engines slowly fades away as it grows ever more distant. As if to drown out the noise, the scattering powdery snow descending from the heavens grows ever more dense. I look up at the sky overhead, attempting to find the source of the snow. No, that's just an excuse. In truth, it's a sad attempt to look away from the reality I am confronted with. Specifically, an attempt to look away from the airplane that's taking off at this very moment. Aww. At last, it started falling. Not the airplane, I hope. Just like on the day when the three of us swore to stay together forever. And just like on the day when two of the three broke away. Haruki-kun. And today, the day when one of those two once again breaks away, leaving behind separated people, one and the other. As if to cover up all the pain and sadness, the snow always seems to pile up at our lives' crossroads. Let's go back. She is gone now, and only she and I remain. Come on, let's go back. There's nothing left here anymore, you know? Right. Contrary to my response, my legs refuse to move an inch. Can we at least go back inside the airport and maybe have some hot coffee? Yeah. I keep gazing at the sky, paying no heed to the person talking to me. Well, that's rude. I can't even bring myself to apologize for being so callous to her. Haruki-kun. I've already betrayed her before, after all, and in the worst way possible, no less. It wouldn't be right to not see my despicable actions to their very end. I hate people like this. Let me just say, if you've done something bad in the past, it doesn't mean you have to remain consistent. You can just move on and be a nice person. Are you determined not to listen to anything I say? It's not like that. Well, yeah, it is. You literally just said that. That's why I don't want her to direct her tender words at someone like me. If you're saying you won't move from here, I'll do this. I'll keep doing it for as long as it takes, so you don't freeze. I feel a gentle and warm sensation on my back. as well as the strength of 2 arms wrapping around my chest, tightly grasping me. If you don't like this, if you think this means betraying her, and then I feel the heart-wrenching weight inside my chest. Then quickly move, shake me off. The warmth that I feel on my back ends up freezing me instead. Hey, Haruki-kun. The more genuine she is towards me, the more I feel like I'm being crushed under the weight of my sins. Do you know that if you stand here any longer, for even now she has remained this kind to me, enduring everything, pushing herself to the limit, and still forgiving everything I've done, holding back everything inside of her just for my sake. I'll get the wrong idea? And yet, do you know that I'll have to end up making the worst possible assumption that you'll accept me despite all your grief? Even at this very moment, I can't deny the truth that she is the only thing on my mind right now. No, thinking of somebody else, not good. At last, it started falling. As I expected, the white snow appears even today, on the day when I lose that which is most precious to me. The snow will hide all of it. It will hide the pain, the sadness, and the truth that I do not want to face. It will bring forth a beautiful white world and leave us there in its wake. But at the end of the day, snow is all that it is. Once it melts, hidden facts and forgotten emotions will once again be exposed for all to see. Black, dirty, and filthy, like mud trampled over and over. This exposition is so intense. It's very, very dramatic. White Album 2, Introductory Chapter. Well, this is a bit more lighthearted. Okay, so we see our first character, Takeya. He is a very angular man. He's got pointy ears, pointy shoulders, pointy everything. His chin is also very pointy.
なんで俺だけ残んなきゃなんないの？
お前だけじゃないって。ほら、ここにはまだ3人も。
いいや、2人だ。つい10分前まで6人いたのにな。仲間割れだよ。空中分解で。電撃解散だよ。びっくり。
ドラムどうすんだよ。他にいないんだぞ。放り出す気かよ。
じゃあベースは？キーボードは？そもそも最初にいなくなったボーカルは？
そんなの俺が何とかしてみせるって。もともとが一月で集めたメンバーだし。
今度の一月後は学園祭本番だな。で、どうやって間に合わすの？
最初から上手いやつらに頼むとか、音楽家の連中とか。
あいつらが普通科のお遊びに参加するかよ。
そうなんだよな。
毎年仲間内だけで寄り集まって自己陶酔の小難しいのばっかやりやがって。
いっつもわけわかんねえクラシックを次から次へと。お祭りだってのにしらけるわ眠いわ。
楽しんだ者勝ちってこと分かってないんだよ。
空気読んでねえよな。本人たちは芸術のつもりかなんだか知らねえけどさ。
まったくな。
ああ、本当に参るぜ。
と話がまとまったところで俺は行かせてもらう。
いつの間に振りほどいた。
He's like, see ya. Good luck.
頑張ってくれ飯塚。成功祈ってるぞ。草場の陰から白旗くらいは振っててやるからな。
てめえこら藤代、裏切り者、戻ってこい。恨むぞ、呪うぞ。いつか思いっきり晴らすぞ。頼むよ、戻ってきてくれ。ったくどいつもこいつも学園祭の主役は自分たちだって意識がないんだよな。 だからすぐに投げ出しちまう。何のための学園生活だよ。若いうちしかできないことってあるだろ。おい、そうやって絶望感を煽るな。まだ終わってねえよ。
お疲れ。
I guess it was inevitable for things to turn out like this, though, to an extent.
なあ、ハルキ、どうしよう。とうとう俺とお前の二人だけになっちまった。
いや、一人だ。10分前まで6人いたのにな。
Yeah, the 6 people that apparently left the club.
裏切り者！お前がいなくなったらギターどうすんだよ。
お前もギターだろうが、部長。
Only 2 guitarists remain. Right now, we seem more like a folk music club.
なんでこんなことに。もう学園祭は来月だってのに。
お前が俺の忠告を聞かずに勝手に話を進めるからだ。
だってハルキ、積極せんだもん。
いいか、タケヤ。俺は最初から言ってたよな。あの子を入れるのはやめとけって。
It's always a girl. Okay, how did the girl break up the
言って
music
るそばから
club?
これだし。
That's right. A single underclassman started all of this.
別に女の子のボーカルが悪いなんて言ってない。けど、こうなることは十分予測できたはずだよな。
Yanagihara Tomo from Class 2C. She was the runner-up in the underground Miss Hojo High contest during the school festival last year and is one of the favorites this year.
そんなこと言ったって、彼女の方からどうしてもやりたいって。
She apparently has plans to enter showbiz, and that seemed to be one of the reasons why she entered this year's contest with some extraordinary enthusiasm.
見返りは？
自分の奥底にある思いを精一杯表現したいって情熱を誰が止めることができようか、反語。
Simply put, it looked like she wanted to promote herself by going on stage during this year's festival.
んで、見返りは？
ちょっとだけ手付けをいただきました。
Consequently, our light music club was subject to her influence. Every year, someone is nominated to be club president in order to gather volunteers 3 months before the school festival. This year, it happened to be none other than my so-called friend, Izuka Takeya. What does that mean, so-called friend? That's awful.
お前にしては珍しくしてやられたな、タケヤ。その結果がこれだ。
And this one girl who was abruptly brought in caused friction among all the club members.
女は見かけによらね。
To put it simply, she's the absolute circle crusher.
やってることお前と同じじゃん。
She did everything in her power to persuade and manipulate members who were not satisfied with her.
俺は見るからにそういう人間だからいいんだよ。
How do I know just how far she had gone? Well, I was also one of her targets.
俺をそこまで深く納得させたって何の得もないぞ。
Yeah, the word persuade is definitely an understatement. I dare not say in what way, however. Oh my.
ハルキ、どうする？
確かに困ったことになったな。
もうエントリーは済んでるし、プログラムも入稿寸前だし。何が何でも形にしないと。
Oh, this music is so catchy. I love it.
そうだな。深刻な事態だ。
今から間に合うようなやつに心当たりないし。お前あるか？
So, this problem may seem a little bit insignificant, but in Japan, school clubs and school festivals are a huge deal. When you're in a school club, it's usually about 2 hours every school day, and then possibly 4 to 6 hours on Saturdays. So they take it very, very seriously. And another thing is that school clubs are led by the students. So in this case, Takeya seems to be the president, so that's a lot of weight on his shoulders. He's in charge of doing the finances for the club, he's in charge of recruitment, he's in charge of putting together whatever performance is going to be at the school festival, which is a huge, huge event in Japan. So, Yeah, this is a bigger deal than it might seem.
いや、残念ながら。
だよな。かといって音楽家の連中に頭下げるのも。
足元見られて散々こき下ろされた挙句断られるか、一言のもとに切って捨てられるか、どっちかだろうな。
どうすりゃいいんだよ。
本気で参ったな。
春樹。お前全然困ってないだろ。思いっきり他人事だろ。
そんなことないですよ。
Is Haruki playing this guitar?
お前の場合弾いてる曲でわかんだよ。つかわざとだろ絶対。
ああ、いや、これは体が勝手に。
That's cute.
もういい。お前におんぶに抱っこで全部丸投げしようとしてた俺がバカだった。
ってそんな都合のいいこと考えてたのかよ。
探してきてやるとも。ベースの天才とドラムの天才とキーボードの天才と、あと極めつけの美少女ボーカリストをな。
Beautiful vocalist.
お前ちっとも懲りてないだろ。本当はそうなんだろ。
じゃあな、後で泣いて頼んだって入れてやんねえからな。
And just like that, I find myself alone in music room number 1, which we can only use twice a week. Only a month and a half left. Since we can only practice here another 10 times, the situation really has devolved into a pure blank slate.
どうするかな。
Truth be told, I was only pretending to be indifferent in front of that irresponsible, carefree club president. He really doesn't like this guy, does he? With that being said, in one way or another, I expected something like this would happen, even though I was hoping it wouldn't.
ほとんどできてたのにな。
The vocalist may have been someone akin to a calculating scientist who balanced the friendships among us guys on a scale. But even so, if I had her popularity, good looks, and silver tongue, I could probably achieve my goals rather easily as well.
本気で参ったな。
On an October evening in late autumn, with the school festival happening soon next month, I, Kitahara Haruki, of Hojo High School's Class 3E, could only let out a deep sigh out of anyone else's sight. You should open up about your emotions with your friend. Don't keep them hidden like that. Don't pretend to be indifferent. That's not good for you. It's not healthy. I hope we can build some better friendships. It feels like we need it. Oh, this is nice.
予想の修正。
ああ、2年の柳原を20丸から110丸に変更で頼む。
That aside, I suppose this sort of information would be useful to someone bearing the burden of the Miss Hojo High Executive Committee for the school festival. Somebody's getting chewed out in the hallway for being late.
つい先週まで小木曽の3連覇に寄進号って言ってたのに、どういう風の吹き回しだ？
選挙ってのは生き物なんだよ。昨日までの予想が今日はまるっきり役に立たなくなる。俺たちは毎年そんな生きた情報と戦わねばならない。
ってことは今年も波乱はなしか。
お前、俺の話聞いてたか？今日の予想は明日には。
まあでも個人的には小木曽独走で全く依存ないけどな。
それには同意せざるを得ないな。
おい、待てトーマ、こっちを向かんか。
And someone else getting yelled at in the background. So, Hojo High School's festival takes place on the same day as Hojo University's festival, right next to our campus. Compared with the university's festival, our school festival is on far smaller scale. It's kind of a given, being that we're merely a high school affiliated with a very same university. Regardless, this is so distracting, this yelling in the background. She just keeps apologizing, and he just keeps yelling more. Okay,
手が滑りました。すいません。
We try to acquire spillover visitors from the university through whatever means necessary, from luring them in to having them think we are a rest stop. This makes the turnout every year fairly decent. You shouldn't have to trick people to coming to your festival. Among other things, there are some cunningly placed signboards within the university and, in a sense, the Miss Hojo High contest is quite popular. The actual Miss Hojo University event steals the stage on the last day of the university's festival each year and has transformed into an event that even attracts the press. However, merely being affiliated with the university, we are not allowed to have the kind of autonomy which they hold. We had to consider public criticism, the decisions made by staff, and the fact that the school directors never formally approved the holding of our beauty pageant. Except, the high school students had reached that rebellious age. Pretending to concede, they shifted their efforts underground. Ooh, underground beauty pageant. And so, those seniors that smoldered underground. They, the organizers of the School Festival Executive Committee, opened up Miss Hojo High behind the scenes. That happened 10 years ago. Wow, that's so funny, this game came out just about 10 years ago. Since it's an antisocial tradition, it's no wonder that it's been passed on for generations now. That's just plain common sense in this world. It lacks stage events and swimsuit competition. An underground beauty pageant where regular attendees of the school festival are encouraged to vote for their favorite girl based on pamphlets with photos that are distributed on the day. Given that it was hardly anything spectacular, the students' regulations and the campus's tacit consent had clued in that it was a failure in the making. On top of that, the champion that was crowned when I enrolled has still not been dethroned. Well, putting all of that aside.
おはよう。毎日律儀に5分の遅刻だな。
Yeah, here's the girl that was getting chewed out for so long. Her chin is also very angular, but she's very pretty.
たった5分早く来るだけで、あの不快で嫌味で市場あふれる説教を聞かずに済むけど、考慮してみる気ないのか？ま、心の隅にでも留めておいてくれればいいや。それじゃ、今日も一日頑張ってこうぜ。
In the late autumn, the neighboring student does not a single thing. We are a poet, and I didn't even know it. This is a haiku. 575.
はい、じゃあ次、こっち向いて笑って。
Oh, she's really pretty.
去年、一昨年と連続優勝。当然今年は3連覇の期待がかかるわけだけど、そのあたりの意気込みは？
Are you feeling enthusiastic going into this?
初心を忘れず頑張りますと。今回のコンテストでライバルはいますか？また注目している人は？
Anyone you're wary of?
次は悪い、そっち向いてくれる？横顔も撮っておきたいんで。
参加者の誰もがライバルですと。じゃあ最後に自己紹介をお願いします。
So he's just putting words in her mouth in this article.
ああ、自己紹介だけはサイトにそのままボイスをアップするから直接これに喋ってほしいんだけど。
ボイスレコーダー？
アップするのは北条の学園内ネットだし、一応セキュリティもかけてダダ漏れにはしないつもり。まあ嫌なら文字コメントだけでも構わないけど。
実行委員さん？
いや、実行委員はこいつだけで、俺は単なる手伝いなんだけど。
I'm a helper. How modest.
E 組の速さか。よろしく。
そうなんですか。それでですね。
あ、いたハルキ。うちの屋台の許可ってどうなった？
それなら昨日通しといた。申し送り事項は全部まとめて部長に渡したから。
お、サンキュー。 いつも悪いな。
と、話の腰を折ってごめん。で、なんだっけ？
今さらこんなこと言うの、本当に申し訳ないって思うんですけど、
あ、
私、今年は辞退ってわけには。
Oh no.
なんで？
もしかして、前からこういうイベント自体が嫌だった？
でも去年も一昨年もエントリーしてたのに。
あれは、友達が勝手に。私は最初からあまり気が進まなかったんだけど。
Did you put your name into the goblet of fire? It's the same thing.
そうは言ってもさ、入学して以来2年連続優勝なんだぜ。それを今さら。
Maybe she just doesn't want to do it. It
まあ、
doesn't
待
matter
て
if
って
you're
しか
good
し。
at it, if you don't like it.
春樹。
なあ、小木曽。
はい。
さ、
見つけた、北原くん。パンフレットの構成なんだけど。
それは今夜中にやっとくから、もう週明けで印刷所押さえといて。
See, again, the student has to be in charge of so many different things for these events. It's pretty cool. It teaches a lot of responsibility for kids about to enter the real world. I say real world, of course it's the real world, but they're used to handling certain amounts of responsibility and planning and communication, and I think that's really important. You can see it in adult Japanese society. Everyone's, you know, for the most part on the ball.
ありがとう、ニキル。明日の午前中までに打ち出しといて。
一切了解してるから。ごめん、また話の腰を折った。
Busy guy, busy guy.
それはいいんだけど。
エントリー条件には、次戦他戦を問わずとあるけど、もちろん本人の合意が大前提だ。小木曽が嫌だったら、エントリーは取り消す。
おい、それは困るって。
Surprised. Why should she look surprised? That's literally what she asked
実行
for.
委員だろうが生徒会だろうが、参加を強制していいわけないだろう。しかし、学園祭は所詮お祭りだって覚えてるか？
In the end, the school festival is really just a festival, remember?
また始まった。
俺は単なる手伝いだから、なるべく口を差し挟まないようにしてたけどな。
You haven't tried at all. You've been butting in literally this entire conversation. Not that it's a bad thing, but
い
geez.
や、思いっきり挟んでたから。結局お前が全部取り仕切ってたじゃんかよ。
Full force butting
だ
in.
ってお
That
前
is
ら
my
見てられないし
specialty.
本番までもう2月を切ったってのに、なんでそんなにのんきなんだよ。
お前が心配性すぎんだよ。
それより話を戻すぞ。参加の強制は NG。 異論は？
It is NG. Off limits, no go.
それに小木曽だっていろいろ気苦労も多いようだし、あまり有名になりすぎても困るんだろ。
お、北原、悪いんだけどな、これ西山に届けてくれないか？あいつ今日病欠しちまって。
Well, handsome teacher. He's got the same ears as the other guy. I wonder if they're related, or if that's just the art style.
ああ、今日帰りに寄っとくよ。渡すだけでいい？
悪いな、明日が提出期限なんだ。
それって明日も休んだらどうするつもりだよ。いいよ、回収もやっとくから。
そうか、頼めるか？ほんとすまん。じゃあよろしくな。
悪い、何度も何度も。
It just keeps happening. This guy's got so much on his plate, I feel bad.
そんなこと。
とりあえずエントリーは取り消しだ。それでいいよな。しかし
まあな。
いろいろとぶしつけなことして悪かった。それじゃ。
Sorry for literally butting in and changing everything and throwing so much on this guy's plate now that she's withdrawing.
よし、次行くぞ次。今日中に回れるところだけ回っとこうぜ。
次は西の柳原だな。
今日はここまでにしとくか。
さっきまでの無駄な責任感はどうした？
実行委員
Oh, assertive.
さんのお手伝いさん。
That's me.
俺？
Me?
その
うん。
危険撤回します。3年 A 組 小木曽刹那です。今年もよろしくお願いします。
Aww. See, now that she was given the choice, she wasn't forced into doing it, now she wants to do it. I can understand that feeling. Especially since someone like us is being so nice to her.
やっ
Maybe
ぱ
she'll
り
be our friend.
責任ってものがあるよね。私の場合は選んでもらったものとして。
無理してない？
してるけど、大した無理じゃないから。比較的。
そう
で、それを伝えるのにわざわざ俺じゃなく春樹を指名する理由は？
Because we are the nice guy.
それじゃ、さよなら。
He's not a bad guy,
また明日。
but we are especially nice.
ああ、また明日。
またね。
結局単なる気まぐれだったのかな。
俺、お前を尊敬するわ。その背中で語る様に。
そんなにしょぼくれてるか。やってるやってる。お疲れってなんだよ、竹谷だけか。他のメンバーはどうした？
親友らしい遠慮のない嫌味をありがとう。
Why are these guys are either such good friends that they kind of talk about each other insultingly, or they're just really not friends. Music room number 1, which we can only use twice a week. That's the second time we've said that. The one loitering around after fruitless preparations is this inseparable friend of mine. The club president, who was twice my classmate and is now in a neighboring class. So essentially 3 years,
で、
right?
どうだった？
ダメ。全然ダメ。めぼしい奴らはほとんど別メンバーで参加してるし。
だよな。
It's been 2 days since our club essentially fell apart. From my experience, one should never rely on Takeya to try and mend friendships destroyed over a woman. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. However, there he was, running around trying to find new members.
ベースの天才も、ドラムの天才も、キーボードの天才も、極めつけの美少女ボーカリストも、実は空想上の生き物だったんだよ。
どうしてお前は、ベースの経験者とドラムの経験者とキーボードの経験者とちょっと可愛いボーカリストを探そうとしないんだ。
Though, for reasons beyond my control, it seems it was pointless after all.
夢は大きく持ちたいだろう。
今俺たちが話してるのは将来の壮大な夢じゃなく、一月後の切羽詰まった現実だと思ってたんだがな。
もう諦めるか。
潔っ！
Oh no.
お前今どう発音した？
問題発生してからわずか2日だぞ。あがくというにもおこがましい期間だろ。
Okay, but to be fair, this guy's been trying really hard to go find new members and stuff, and all Haruki's been doing is just kind of whining about it.
たった2日ではあるけどな。本番までもわずか1月と10日くらいなんだよ。最初から無理だったんだよって結論を出すのに2日は長すぎたかもしれないな。
でも竹谷、お前この3年間の集大成だってあんなに気合い入れて。
That was also his reason for dragging me into the club as a backup member, even though I had no experience playing the guitar at all until third year. Aren't we third years right now? So that means he has less than a year of guitar experience.
確かに集大成だった。もうステージ上でのサインも決めてたしな。
Oh, that's so cute.
だったら
こう親指一本を立てた時は稽古へのサインでさ、お前だけのために弾くぜという意味で。
No, that's so cute and sad.
手拍子取ってる時はレイナへのサインで、前に出てきて手を振ったらユウへのサインで、あと立てて弾いてる時はのぞみへのサインで。
Oh, jeez. Okay, this guy's just a player, actually. And finally, playing while standing still, the sign to Nozomi.
集大成になるはずだったんだけどな。
何を集めるつもりだったんだよお前は。
Backstage after the performance would have been terrifying. That would be something funny.
前から言おうと思ってたんだけどな、竹谷。今日こそははっきり言わせてもらうぞ。
前から何度も何度もはっきり言われてるから、今更余計なこと思わなくていい。
だいたい、お前本命は。
ストップそこから先は、親友といえども聞く耳持たない。
No, I want to hear it too.
竹谷。
それに、これ以上春樹の負担を増やしてもしょうがないしな。
俺は別に、ただ適当に参加してるだけだし。
今はそうだけどな。でも、周りの人間に困ったことがあると、すぐに場を仕切り始めるから、お前は。
I mean, kind of, but clearly he isn't solving the problems of this light music club, so...
そんなことは、自分の意思でやってることだし。
I'm astonished when I realize I can't even say, that's not true at all.
うちらの手伝いだけじゃなく、学園祭の表実行委員に裏実行委員にウェブ担当にクラス委員と図書委員と、しかも全部ヘルプで。
Okay, well, that's a lot. Being your class's representative, being on the library committee, not to mention just being a helper to them all.
なんか嫌な気分になってくるから、それ以上はやめてくれ。
Oh no. Tonight's schedule runs through my head from him simply listing all of my positions. I wonder if I'll even get 2 hours of sleep tonight. That's not good. That is NG. That is not good.
俺だってさ、自分のことしか考えてない自己中みたいに見えるけど、これでも親友の心配は人並みにしてるつもりなんだぜ。
Oh, that's so sweet.
前半に関しては全面的に同意だけどな。
チェ。
But with that said, I don't plan on completely denying the latter half either. It's true that he was being run ragged by girls and about the same frequency as the other two primal urges. The other two primal urges? What is that, eating and sleeping? But in his case, he didn't seem to hold any grudges, and he even had the thoughtfulness to introduce me to his exes. Well, I don't know if that's a great thing, but... Though I'm not sure it's appropriate to call it being thoughtful, but at any rate, there's no doubt that he looked out for me. And besides, up until last year, he wasn't like the people that had come and gone.
なんだこれ。
なんだろうな。いつの間にか会ってた。
Takeya pokes his head outside the window, leaning his ear towards the neighboring classroom. Towards the piano that's playing in sync with my guitar. The first time I noticed was about 2 months ago. At the time, there weren't that many people around for the performance. I wouldn't join in when the club was practicing, and when they left, I ended up practicing a lot on my own. That piano accompanied me many times until I finally got into shape, and when it was pleased with my form, it accompanied my music. It was a mysterious sound that would pull pranks on me, guide me, and even show me my weaknesses simply through hearing it.
たまにピアノじゃない時もあるんだよな。ベースだったりドラムだったり。
Though last week, he caught me off guard by suddenly playing the saxophone.
隣もバンドやってんのか？
さあ、でも合わせてるの聞いたことないな。どれも一人でやってる感じ。
Which is precisely why he intervenes when I'm alone. Seems like he has a lot of spare time.
にしても、とちんねえな。
That was also par for the course. No matter what instrument or song, he's never missed a note. Perhaps he really has had a lot of practice. He truly does have a lot of spare time.
なあ、竹谷。提案があるんだけどさ。
I wonder what this could be.
無理だ。
まだ何も言ってないけど。
第2は音楽家のテリトリーだろ。俺たち普通科のお遊びには付き合わねえって。
Stay off of their turf.
そうか。
The answer he prepared is far too thorough.
ほんと、殿様だよな、音楽家。学年に1クラスしかないのに、音楽室を2つも独占しやがって。
Hojo High School has 3 music rooms. Music room number 1 and number 2 are here in the main building. There's an annex opposite of us connected by 2 sections where there's an extra large 3rd music room. However, all the clubs have to share the cramped 1st music room. Unlike the other two, which are reserved only for the music students' classes, the 8th class of each grade. It goes without saying that it's a heaven for people who have hopes of getting into a music career. We also have to think of the school's interests as well, so there's nothing we can really do. But there is no way for us regular students to be satisfied with this state of affairs. Hence, the regular and music students have traditionally been at odds with each other.
女子はお嬢様ばっかだから簡単に引っかかると思ったんだけどな。すぐにレッスンがどうとかコンクールがどうとか。
In his case, though, it seems that besides that, it brought him a whole different set of problems.
ま、それを差し引いても望み薄だな。特に今年の3年はかなりレベル高いって話だし。
そうなんだ。
なんでも松川ってやつが春の全国コンクールで3位入賞だって騒ぎになってたし。
じゃあ隣はその松川くんかな。
確認してないのかよ。何度もお手合わせしてんだろ。
鍵かけっぱなしなんだよ。ドアの隙間も全部カーテンで遮られてて。
It's such a mystery. I love it. Although that would drive me crazy if that really happened. I would just wait outside the door. I mean, he has to come out to use the bathroom or something, right?
えらく人見知りだな。秘密特訓でもしてるんか？
さあな。
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious. Even more so with him trying to hide behind the iron curtain like he is. To an amateur such as myself, his piano playing is perfect. And although not as perfect, his bass, drums, and saxophone all match up as well. All match up well. If he really is doing this all by himself, he's impossibly talented. Maybe not a prodigy of an artist, but certainly not an amateur. Though I can't really tell, since we've never actually met. I'm not too fond of Hojo High's music students either, after all.
にしても。分かっちゃいたけど、お前上手くなんねえな。
お前がいちいち話しかけるからだよ。
This guy can't be my best friend. No way. Oh, they're cute. That seems like a great stopping point for now, actually. So we're going to go ahead and save our game. So thanks so much for joining me here on this first chapter of White Album 2. I'm definitely looking forward to playing more and meeting some more of the girls, and kind of fleshing out our character as far as his relationship goes, because he seems like a pretty okay guy. He's just too wrapped up in his own thoughts and responsibilities. So, thank you so much. I will see you next time. Take care. Thank you.